we used to do this thing on the podcast where we would discuss scenarios, would you rather scenarios. And I had a few lined up. Some of them are pretty basic. Some of them get pretty intense.
Okay.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to know, would you rather walk through a spider web every time you walk through a doorway, or have 2 flies buzz around you every time you eat or drink?
Ooh. I mean, I don't want my food to be interrupted. I'm totally going with spider web. As long as there's no spider in the spider web.
That was my thought process as well, dude. It's like I walk through a spider web and just kind of like brush it off, then be done with it.
It's annoying, but
but I was at a picnic one time. It was a company picnic when I worked at the factory, and they had like a terrible fly problem this year. I didn't know what was causing it, but I almost broke down in tears. It was so bad, and I was just trying to eat my food. I was trying to eat my burger, my hot dog, dude, and I was being swarmed by flies. And it was to the point, you ever get so frustrated that you there's no other option but to just sit there and cry.
I can't.
Have you ever got to that point?
I can't say I've ever done that. No.
Okay, I do it pretty much every weekend. And
I don't know if I believe that.
I'm sitting there like eating my burger, like holding back tears in front of all of my coworkers, and it was one of the most miserable experiences ever. And so for that reason, I would probably have to walk through the spider web as well.
Dang, you had like a real experience for this. Would you rather?
Yeah.
I thought most of these are like very hypothetical situations, but you literally went through that.
Well, I just had a situation in which it swayed my answer one way.
Okay, fair
pretty
enough.
heavily.
Fair enough.
All right, would you rather try to beat Eminem in a freestyle rap battle, or try to beat Mike Tyson in a fight?
I mean, either way, I'm gonna get absolutely trashed. But I mean, I would much rather be verbally trashed than physically trashed. Mike Tyson might actually kill me. With one punch or bite my ear off, and I do love my ears. I'm taking the rap battle. I mean, it could really lower my self-esteem, and I may not be able to ever look at myself in the mirror again. But I'm gonna have to go with the rap battle.
Okay.
Either way, I'm losing.
This one is a little more aggressive. Would you rather try and kiss your dad on the lips and tell him you want to suck his pee-pee? And you can't say it's a dare. You can't say it's a dare. So you just have to do it, or have one of your fingers broken.
One of my fingers broken. Because I've already broken a finger.
Are you sure?
It's not that bad.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. Okay.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. That one was a little bit more difficult for me, but I think I'm gonna, at the end of the day, have to just break a finger.
Yeah. I mean, I broke a finger last summer, almost a year ago.
You broke a few.
No, one finger.
Whole hand.
It was I mean, fifth metacarpal. It's technically the finger. Okay, my pinky was a little broken. It just kind of was hanging there. That would be a broken.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. It hurt. It hurt, but
you say that, but also like you still have issues with it. So
yeah, no, it grinds. It's got a plate and 5 screws in it, so it's a good time. It grinds.
Me too at the club.
Yeah.
Skirt.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. I don't go.
Future wife.
I don't go out, so you don't have to worry about.
You don't go clubbing?
Anything.
You don't go clubbing in Detroit? I've been to a club with you.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I've been clubbing with you a few times. I've seen you get down on the dance floor.
No, you haven't.
Because
that doesn't happen.
You don't dance. You're not much of a dancer.
Unless I'm very drunk. Like this is how you can tell that I'm about to throw up that night. Is I'm on the dance floor dancing. Like if I'm blackout drunk, like really getting it in the dance floor, you better get me home ASAP Rocky, because it's gonna be a rough night for me. Probably a rougher morning.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, you know what? I think this is a good time to talk about how I broke my hand on the podcast.
Dude,
I think
go ahead.
I'm going to talk about it. All jokes aside, everyone's been asking, and I think it's been a year. I think I'm to the point where I can talk a little bit about it.
You're going to really talk about it.
I'm going to really talk about it. So a year ago, and this kind of goes back to how I was saying, like in the past couple of years, I think I've made a huge jump in maturity and kind of my mindset and kind of the person I want to be and the person I want to become moving forward. And for me personally, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect. I've had some trauma in my childhood that will randomly kind of pop up I went through, when I was a kid, I had kind of had some trauma that involved violent outbursts. Not for me, but I saw it, and it kind of happened to me. And I think as an adult, when I get really, 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 really frustrated or angry about something, I can also kind of have outbursts. I've never hurt anyone physically. That's not what I do, but I have like slammed doors and shut stuff. And this one time, I was having some personal issues, some family issues. I wasn't able to deal with it in the proper ways or channel it in the proper ways. I was bottling up a lot, and I just kind of exploded. I got very angry in the moment, and my dumb ass punched the wall. That's what I did, chat. That's what I did. I broke my hand. It's called a boxer's fracture. I punched the wall straight up.
Stupid.
Punched the wall many, many, many times. Just
broke his hand and then kept punching.
Broke my hand on like the second punch and just kept punching. And I was an idiot and broke my own hand. That's literally how I did it. And then, I obviously had to pay for surgery and all that stuff. And I think that was kind of a wake up call for me. That was like when I mentally hit rock bottom, and I was like, man, I am depressed. I'm angry. Like, I've obviously got some issues that I need to sort through. At 26, 27 years old, I was like, man, there's a lot of things that I still have up in this silly brain of mine that I just have never sorted out in my entire life. And since that day, that kind of pushed me to really start taking more care of myself mentally. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I need to go talk to somebody. I've been seeing a therapist ever since. I've just had a way better outlook. I feel like I've just been more me, to be honest. Like, as shitty as it was a terrible, terrible experience in the moment. It was like my lowest point. I'm so glad that it happened to me, because it really made me get my life back on track and really made me focus on the good shit, like what I need to be doing moving forward. And it put things into perspective and really made it so I needed to focus on my self-care and worry about myself mentally.
It's so important. We were talking about that earlier. It's so important.
It is.
I'm really, really angry, and I know firsthand that it's not fun. But sometimes, just in the moment, you really don't have any other way to get that aggression or frustration out. That's why I think there's always, I don't know what it is, but there's like this bad stigma around seeing a therapist and stuff. And I think just being able to talk to somebody who is completely in 100% unbiased towards you and your situation is one of the most helpful things that you could possibly do.
Absolutely.
Like you get sure, like I have an issue, I come to you with it, but you're like, for the most part, you're going to be on my side no matter what I do, what I said. I mean, don't get me wrong. You've been like, Vern, you're dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like you're not going to give me the perspective that I might need in a situation that is something like that,
Yeah, I mean, talking to people is so important, you guys. Like, I've been one of those individuals. Like, my whole childhood, I was in a situation where I needed to essentially keep everything bottled up, or at least I felt I did. Excuse me. And so, like, I just learned how to cope with things or at least on my own, and everything, all my emotions, I would just shut down, keep it all bottled up, and basically just shove it down and ignore it. That is not healthy. It is not healthy, because it will always pop back up in some form. And for me, that was the way it popped up. And I just I saw red, I freaked out, and I basically just beat the shit out of a wall and broke my own hand. That was, and I was like, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. Like, why did I do this? I'm an idiot. Like,
dude, that's why I cry every single Sunday now. Like, some people, it's like part of my routine. I'm dead ass, dude. I used to play this game with myself where like I would just let things pile up and like just see how much I could handle emotionally, physically, until I like had an actual breakdown. And I would like ghost the internet for 2 days and like just peace out. And now I'm just like, there's much healthier ways to handle things.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if anyone is going through anything, there are a lot of outlets.
Talk to people.
That you could talk to
people. And I get it. Mental health, especially therapists and counseling, can be very, very, very expensive. There are cheap alternatives. There are ways to talk to people to get help. I know it can be hard to find the right person that you click with. That can be very, very difficult. If you find someone that's willing to talk to you, but you're like, man, I can't really talk to this person. I don't feel comfortable talking to this person. Maybe that person's not for you. It doesn't mean you should give up. Maybe you should try to find somebody else. I'm dead serious. It has been absolutely life-changing for me. I think, you know, I was ashamed of it at first, but you know what? I think the whole mental health stigma is so ridiculous. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you a normal human being. Everyone's going through their own shit. Everyone's got different trauma and different things from their childhood that they have to deal with. And everyone deals with things differently. So don't be afraid to talk to people. And, you know, it's going to help you out tremendously. I promise you it will make a difference in your life.